The power of habit. You don't rise up to the level of your goals, but you fall down to the level of your systems. Why are habits important for us in life? I think that we can all agree that our life is the sum total of our days, and our days are the sum total of our daily actions, our habits. So when you think about it this way, our habits, our daily habits and our daily routines directly influence who we are and who we become in the future. And that's why it's important to understand what habits are and how they work. One of the best definitions of a habit is that it's an automated behavior that we repeat over and over again. Okay, so why does our mind automate behaviors that we repeat over and over again? The short answer is to save memory space. You see, let's take an example of riding a bike. When you first go to ride a bike, you have to consciously think about all the things, like where are the pedals, where you should put your legs, how to hold on to the handlebars, how to steer, where the brakes are and how to use them properly, how to shift gears properly. But as you repeat the process of riding a bike, once you know how to do it, you just hop on and ride. You don't think consciously about the pedals and the brakes and the shifters and the steering, you know. It's become automated, it's become a habit, and your subconscious mind takes over when you ride the bike, so you don't have to use your conscious mind and the memory space in your conscious mind to do something that's repeated over and over. Alright, so that's the reason why we have habits and why our mind forms habits. So now let's get into understanding them. Every habit has three parts in its core. First comes the cue, then comes the behavior, and then comes the reward. As you can see right there behind me. Alright, so let's get deeper into these. First, the cue, that's the trigger. So that means what triggers you to do the behavior. And the cue can be visual, it can be something you hear, it can be something you see, it can be a situation, it can be a place. It can be a whole lot of things. It can be a feeling. But what it is that thing that triggers you to do something. So I'll give you an example. If you go and open the counter and you see a box of cookies, that's a visual cue for you to get the box of cookies and start eating them. Alright, so that would be the behavior. Eating the cookies, the behavior itself. So when smoking, that would be taking out a pack of cigarettes, lighting it up. And after these actions comes the reward. The reward is usually based on dopamine. Dopamine is a hormone that causes us to feel good and to be motivated to do something again. That's how our body uses motivation and all the internal things. But what's important to understand is the habits work in a way that you get a reward for it, so you want to do it again, and you want to do it again and again. And I'll give you an example again. So with the box of cookies that I gave you, the reward would be the good taste in your mouth, or maybe even some stress relief. That's most likely the reward with smoking. But with smoking, it can be a reward of socializing people, because people often smoke in groups, you know. So there can be more specific rewards to that habit as well. Alright, so let's say that we want to use this knowledge to get rid of a bad habit. So let's take smoking as an example. So what we gotta do first is identify the cues. Identify all the cues that trigger you to want to smoke a cigarette. So when you see a group of people smoking, or when you're stressed, maybe when you have a break at work, you don't know what to do with yourself, maybe. Right? Identify all those cues that you think are triggering the habit of you smoking. Then you're gonna identify all the rewards that you get for smoking. So, like I said, it can be socializing, it can be stress relief, it can be a break from work. It can be just taking your mind off of something. And then once you've identified your cues and your rewards, then you want to go into the habit itself and replace the bad habit of smoking with something that is gonna be good for you, but is still gonna deliver the same rewards. So let's take it step by step. Okay, so you have a cue that you want to smoke, and the cue would be you have a break at work and you want to take your mind off of work and concentrate on something else and get a little bit of stress relief maybe. So what could you do? You could do a few jumping jacks, because physical exercise releases some hormones that relieve stress. Or and then you can pick up a Rubik's Cube and solve a Rubik's Cube, or learn how to solve a Rubik's Cube. Why? Because that's gonna take your mind off the work, and that way you've completed the habit. You had the cue, the break at work. Now comes the behavior. We replace the bad behavior with a good one, and then comes the reward, and the reward stays the same. So this is the best way to get rid of bad habits and replace them with a good one. But what if you just want to build a good one, a good habit, or just break a bad one without replacing it? Let's say you want to build a new morning routine. Then there's probably nothing to replace, but you need to totally build new habits, and that would be a little bit different approach. So first you need to identify the habit, what it's gonna be, when it's gonna be, and what are you gonna be doing, basically the routine. And then you need to pick a good cue for the habit. So when you're picking a good cue, you need to think of a few things, and you need to make it as obvious as possible, so you can see it on a daily basis, or do it on a daily basis, whatever. Okay, let's take an example of, let's say you want to adopt the habit of exercising in the morning, right after you brush your teeth. So your cue would be brushing your teeth. Okay, so you wake up, you go brush your teeth, and after you brush your teeth, you go exercise. So now your brain is gonna start linking those two up. After I brush my teeth, I go exercise. Alright? And then you need a reward for it. So we have the complete 3 steps, and the habit can be formed completely. So when we're thinking about the reward, there's one key thing that we need to keep in mind, and that is that the reward needs to come immediately after the behavior. So if you say that my reward for exercising is going to be that I'm going to be fit, that's not going to help you for building the habit. Yes, it is going to be the reward of you building the habit, but you need a specific instant reward right after the behavior itself, so the neurons in your brain can form the connections and link those together. So let's say that after a workout, after exercising in the morning, you're gonna have a good breakfast, and that good breakfast is gonna be the reward for you for exercising. So now you have the complete process. You have the cue, brushing your teeth, you have the behavior, exercising, and then you have the reward, a good food. Awesome. So now it only depends on your discipline and on how often you show up and how often do you actually do these. So the connections can get stronger and stronger and eventually become automatic. Alright, so how do we do that? How do we make it automatic? And like I said already, the only thing that matters here is how often do you show up. And that's why I want to introduce you to the low-high bar tool. The low-high bar tool is basically a tool when you set a low bar for yourself for the habit and a high bar for yourself for the habit. So with exercising, it's gonna be, it could be the low bar, could be do 5 push-ups. So with exercising, the low bar could be do 5 push-ups, and that's it. You're done with the habit and you don't need to do anything else. And the high bar would be do 25 push-ups, 10 squats, and some other things. All you want, you know? And now what that allows you to do is that you can pick from the range of doing just 5 push-ups, which is so easy and anyone can do that. If you can't do 5 push-ups, you can go as low as the 1 push-up. When I was learning about this concept the first time, the author of this concept actually said it with an example of a reading, and he said just read 1 sentence, and that's it. Right? So the low bar for reading could be just reading 1 sentence. So it can be really low, and the lower it is, the easier for you it is to do, the more likely you're gonna be to make the habit stick. Alright, so that's why we have the low bar. So when we have a day of low willpower or low motivation, we just don't feel like doing it at all, then go for the low bar, just do 5 push-ups and you're done. You're done, and you got the +1 in your habit, and you're gonna keep building it. Second is the high bar. The high bar is where you actually get the results. So the high bar is for the days when you feel highly motivated and you have a lot of willpower. So that's when you want to go for the high bar to get the best results over time as possible. And depending on the level of your motivation and the level of your willpower, you can choose anywhere from the low bar to the high bar. You have a range of opportunities to use when doing your habit, so you can make it stick. Alright? The most important thing is how often you show up. And in order to make this happen, and in order to make automating the habits as easy as possible, there's a rule for this called the 2-day rule. And the 2-day rule states that if you miss 1 day of doing the habit, then you cannot miss the 2nd day. Alright? And this is so brilliant, because if you actually stick to the 2-day rule, it's gonna help you so much to make that habit automatic and make it stick. Because that's how it starts, you know? You miss 1 day, and then you say, okay, I've been doing it for a week. I've been exercising for a week and I missed yesterday, so I can miss another day, right? And I'm gonna start again tomorrow. No, if you don't do it again, then you're less likely to do it tomorrow. And that's how it stops. One day you wake up and say, oh, I wanted to do this habit, but I didn't, and now it's gone, and I now have to start all over again. So stick to the 2-day rule. It's so helpful. The last concept that I want to introduce you to about habits in this video is the 4 laws of behavior change. The first law of behavior change is make it obvious. That means make the cue obvious. So you want to see the cue as often as possible, so you can stick to that habit and make it happen. Do it as often as you can. The second thing is to make it attractive. Make the habit attractive. So you need to like it, or you need to have some kind of good reward to look forward to. The third thing is to make it easy. This is why we have the low-high bar, so we can make it easy for ourselves even when our motivation and our willpower is really low. And the third thing is to make it enjoyable or pleasurable. That is the reward. That is the direct, immediate reward that you get for doing the behavior. And if you want to use these 4 laws of behavior change to break a bad habit, you just invert these laws. So from make it obvious, you make it non-obvious. From making it attractive, you make it non-attractive. Make it easy, you make it hard for yourself to do it. And for making it enjoyable and pleasurable, make it unenjoyable and unpleasurable. That's it for this session, guys. I hope you enjoyed this session on habits. It's a really, really useful one. And I'll see you in the next one. Yo-ho! Lesson number 4 is done. This was a really good one. This was the strategic one of how you can build habits. Habits are so important. Don't take them lightly, because like I said in the beginning, our life is the sum total of our days, and our days are the sum total of our daily actions, and those daily actions are the habits. So habits directly influence and shape who you become in the future. So don't take them lightly. Use the framework that I taught you and start working on your new habits. I'll see you in the lesson 4, lesson number 5. You're awesome. Thanks for completing the lessons. You're almost there. You're almost done it. And now it's just the toolbox is awaiting. And the toolbox, I think you're gonna love the toolbox, because those strategies and those tools are gonna help you to come such a long way just from implementing these tools. So go ahead and go check those out.